Alright, here we go. Ancient ruins? What do you plan to do here? I don't know. It's just the only place we haven't explored around here. What do you think we'll find?
Don't worry about it. Let's go.
That's the spirit, Lilith. The spirit of adventure. Let's go. There's a little red hole here. Literally, there's just a red hole. There's a sign. Temple of Thunder, Temple of Mind, Temple of Fire. Further up, Sacred Temple. Curious. Let's just go around in circles, shall we? We'll start here. The ancient door opens slowly. Now, I guess I can show off the area a little bit. There's not much to it. It's a big square. You go around the square, and there's 3 fountains, and there's 3 temples, and there's Alakazams. And Electabuzzes and Arcanines. We saw statues of them earlier. In front of the statue, or the temples. Yeah. Whoops, I forgot we don't fight twins. Oh well, I guess we're doing it anyway. This far into the fight, might as keep going. Oh no, I'm less confused. I could do literally anything to fix this, but I just kept hitting lazy. Because I do not fear these Area 8 enemies. Not at all. Even though I probably should. I stopped killing everyone. Just trying its best. Pardon me. Eh. Alright, fine, Jesus. It's taking him this long, I might as well fix him. Stop being confused! Figures the fight would end immediately after that. But yeah, Arcanines, no! Here! I'm trying to show people. See? It's a big square. It's just a big square with water fountains and temples. Let's get this one too, because we fought the Alakazams. Alright, let's get in here. Let's get into the Thunder Temple. Ooh, very mysterious. So there's like a secret door here. Open the secret door. And that's how I get this book. Book of Ella. It's not super great in this game because Electabuzz's skills are not that strong. Oop, I was gonna show it. It was like, was that Thunder Shock? Yeah, there's 10 in stun. Apparently it was really good in the card game because like, I guess paralysis is kind of busted. And being able to access a skill that does paralysis so easily on a hardy Pokemon like Electabuzz probably had something to do with it, but whatever. In this game, it's kind of rubbish. Because, like, you have many more options for stunning than just that. Electabuzz is whacked. Gotta watch out for those, like, confusions. Oops, didn't mean to hit lazy. I was going to have you, like, heal people. There we go. So, anyway, I've been continuing my development of the new version of this in my spare time, my game design time, that I'm not devoting to Take-Two at the moment. And it's coming along. I got the enemies all done, and I'm working on the battle groups. I found a pretty efficient way of getting it done. I was gonna say something, wasn't I? I can't think of what I was gonna say, oh no. Oh yeah, like, one of the moves I ended up having to change how it works, because like, while the battle groups might seem like they would be the simplest thing to do, you just like, put the monsters on the field, and that's it. It's more complicated in this game, merely because of the existence of Metronome, and other moves that turn on switches. Because like, what Metronome does, whenever you use it, here, I'll use it just to show. I mean, we've seen it before, but, like I said, auto-targets, and it kind of like, fake uses a move, basically. Because, like, you have to program a battle page to tell it what to do whenever that switch turns on. And, since it uses the enemy's attack, well, you kind of have to customize it for every freaking enemy. And that's a bit of a pain. Hold on, I want to cure that confusion. I keep forgetting I made the magic flip. There we go. But, like, because it needs customized for every battle, that makes editing the battle groups just that much more complicated. Because you have to do the animations and, like, the calculations and the battle messages. It all has to be customized for every single fight. And the game has a lot of fights. Oh, yeah, the electric chamber. We need to, like, navigate through here to find a switch we can flip that will change all these little zappies. Over here? I think over here. Yeah, see, now then they switch around and you gotta solve the maze again. Oh, this way. Where was the next one? I'm trying to, like, look, it's not over there. Actually, looks like I can't access... Oh, wait, no, this one. The one to the right. Well, not all the way to the right, but this one. Okay. Now, we can get to the one on the far left. The far left. Over here. Ah, monsters! No! But anyway, yeah, customizing the metronomes is definitely the most complicated aspect of it, but there are other switch moves that are fairly involved too. It's like, there's Destiny Bond, which checks to see if Ferris has died, and when Ferris does die, if the switch is on, then it kills one of the monsters, unless they're a boss. But I made that one a little bit more complicated in the new version too, because like I decided that it's kind of dumb that you can't really use it against bosses in any capacity. So what it does now is, well, in normal battles, if you use it and Ferris dies, it's guaranteed to take down an enemy. Plain and simple. There's no chance of their survival if Ferris dies in that scenario. But for bosses, instead of just saying Ferris took them down with him, it'll say Ferris tries to take down with him, and it'll roll a chance to see if the monster dies to it or not. And it's not going to be a very high odds that it'll succeed, because that would be busted, but... hold on a second. We're still not done? I feel like we flipped a lot of these switches. But anyway, yeah, it's not a very high chance that it'll kill them instantly, but there's a possibility, and if it doesn't kill them instantly, then instead it just does a whole ton of ghost damage. Like I set it to do 120 base power ghost damage. And I felt that was a good trade-off. So now the skill actually has some purpose outside of whatever. Pretty good. I'm gonna heal Eli, he's in bad shape. And I'm gonna Hydro Pump Arcanine, because I don't like him. Nah, that's not true, I like Arcanine. I wish Arcanine was better, actually. These are pretty difficult enemies, I gotta admit. Like, they're rough. How's about you cure Eli, since he seems to be struggling? See, this is yet another case of the game dunking on me for insulting it. I was talking about how stun is kind of dumb and overshadowed in this game, and then Lactopus is like, well, I'll show you, I'm gonna stun everybody, how do you like it? How do you like me now with my stuns? So obnoxious. Ugh. So, yeah, Destiny Bond, yet another move that needs customized for every battle because I gotta change the battle message of who's getting killed. But that one's a lot simpler, but, like, I've added this new functionality to it. The next one would be Mirror Move, which used to be basically a clone of Metronome. We haven't encountered it in this game yet because we're going to find it in the area beyond this one. Well, I mean, it's still part of Area 8, but, like, the section of Area 8 beyond this one. But, like, Mirror Move and Metronome, they have different language on the cards, and I kind of interpreted them more or less the same way. Because it's like, Metronome, it says basically that you can look at your opponent's card and use one of the attacks on the card. Just straight up. Whereas Mirror Move, it describes it a little differently. It says you need to look at the... or whatever, if it's like... It says that if your card was attacked last turn, then perform the final result of that attack on the opponent. So, like, if you had your Pidgeotto out, and somebody attacked it, and he took, like, 20 damage and was poisoned or whatever, then you would do 20 damage and poison the opponent in turn. At least that's how I assumed that would work. And in my eyes back when I was making this, that basically amounted to using the same move as the opponent did, so I kind of just made it a clone of Metronome, but only allowed it to apply to, like, genuine attacks, which really didn't make much of a difference, because there's nothing you can do in the battle system to raise or like affect stats that are not HP or MP. For whatever reason, like, you can't use the battle events to change attack, defense, etc. and so forth. So, defensive moves like Scrunch, Withdraw, etc. are already impossible for Metronome to imitate anyway, even though theoretically it would be able to do so. Kind of just made do with what we could. But one thing it could do was mimic healing moves like Recover. So, Metronome would be able to mimic Recover, where Mirror Move would not. And that was, like, the one distinction. But I decided that was kind of uninteresting. So, what Mirror Move does now... Hold on. Likewise, Arcanine, do you mind? I'm in the middle of a thought, okay? Look, I'm trying to solve this puzzle, and talking about the changes, and solving things. I needed to flip that one more switch so we could go through this not very elegant wall and get the other book telly. There we go. So what Mirror Move does now is, since Lilith is the only one who can learn it, I set up a battle event that it checks her HP at the start of the fight and keeps track of it turn by turn. And if Lilith takes damage on the turn prior, when she uses Mirror Move, it will do that amount of damage to the target. And I think that's pretty interesting, because, like, here, see, we just saw Lilith take 114 damage from that attack. If she used Mirror Move right now in the new version, she would do 114 damage to Electabuzz, and that's pretty good. Like, seriously, that's some damage, dude. And I thought that was a lot more interesting than just another version of Metronome that isn't as good. When Metronome's already pretty dodgy, and actually it's getting dodgier in the new version, because since I'm making the elements all make sense, well, a lot of the monsters have moves that they're resistant to. Like if you use Metronome on, well, let's say Venusaur, the only attack it can imitate is Solar Beam, and it's quadruple resistance to Solar Beam, so what would have been a 60 base power attack becomes just... Oh, sorry, I'm like trying to think. It becomes 15 base power, and that's sad. So, yeah. But there are also times where it is actually good. Do you guys find not being confused completely? Like, good God. Get a grip. Fatty shot himself with his own bow. I'm totally spacing on what I was just talking about. This guy has me confused. Right, so anyway, Mirror Move has this new functionality I think is really cool. And then there's Metronome like there always was, and beyond that, there was one more thing I added. The book in the library, the bestiary, that is supposed to be basically the Pokédex that Oak is working on. Hold on, I'm gonna like spruce myself up before this battle. I think that might be all I need. Yeah, we haven't really used a lot of our MP. We should be fine. Zzz. Ancient Electabuzz. What am I doing? Why am I just having you attack? You should do the thing. You should, like, just hit the guy. Just hit the guy with all your power. Not super worried about it. No lowers resistance. Alright, so, like, I decided to make an actual side quest out of that instead of just having the Pokédex be a book in the library. And what I decided to do is I would have the heroes be given that book at the beginning of the game, and as they go through the game and encounter more monsters, they can use the book in battle to both add it to the dex and get some information about the monster right in front of them. So if we used it in this scenario right now, it would say added Electabuzz to the bestiary, and then it would tell us Electabuzz's types, and its attacks and like some general information about them, like whether they're physical or special, what type of damage they do. I'm gonna double this guy. Hold on. And also like what their weaknesses and resistances would be, and whether they evolve or not. And I thought that was all like helpful information. You can even get it on characters like Stinko Man and stuff. Good times. But that also requires a fair bit of customization per battle group, so all of these things I am doing for all of these battle groups. It's a lot. It's going to take a bit to get through, but I don't really mind. I can also stop raising mine now. Okay, let's fire spin you, double edge, you need to fix Ferris, you got stun. So I think that'll be nifty, and add like a layer of transparency that it needed for like depth of strategy. Especially since the type charts have changed in recent times and there are some inconsistencies. Like, did you know that fire used to not be resistant to ice? That was something. That means Charizard is actually weak to ice in the original, or Red and Blue, and therefore in the remake of Pokemon. Or I can't really call it a remake. I guess it's more of a remaster. Even then, it's not really that. I don't know what to call it. Redux? Re-something. Pokemon Hunter re-something is on its way, but it's whatever. Giving the player more battle information seemed like a good idea, but it's been kind of a mess because, like, some Pokemon have way more, like, elemental affinities than others, and the most recent conundrum I've had is that you really just had to kill him, didn't you? You just had to do it. You had to do it to him, didn't you? Come on. Blech. Thank goodness, a little this fast. Oh, he's attacking twice now. No. How about you defend, just in case you get attacked again? Alright, so, like, the message box that I'm putting the information in is the default message box. And there's a nice feature in the editor that tells you where the text cuts off, so you don't fill your space in, like, it also has, like, a little dashed line showing how much space that the face graphic would take up, and I am using face graphics for part of it, because that's, I wanted to, like, show the portrait of a monster next to some of its information. But on the page for, like, the resistances, that doesn't quite work out too well, because it forces a lot of the things to need 2 rows. Like, take Onyx, for example, he has, like, so many different elemental affinities. Even after I removed the face graphic from the side of his box, I had to push his resistances to 2 rows. But I only recently came to the conclusion that I wanted the face graphic to only show for, like, the first box that represents some general information, and the resistances have, like, their own page in the second text box. So now I got to go back to the groups I've already done and remove the face graphics for the second part, and that's kind of tedious. It's just a lot of work. It is quite a bit of work. Look, work. Whoa. You already know that one? Oh yeah, it's Flamethrower. There's like 3 Pokemon that know Flamethrower in this dang game. And they're all the same. Every copy of Flamethrower is the same. Alright, so here we've got another little lava puzzle thing. All these pipes are marked. I'll show you as soon as I get out of this fight. So yeah, lots of battle work to go into the next one, but I'll get through it sooner or later. It's tedious, but I know what to do, and I can just, like, I can kind of zone out and put on some music and just grind away. Morning activity every time I get up. After I have breakfast, hit my computer at like 6:45 a.m. Do that until it's time to leave for work. Unless it's the weekend, and then I just do it until 9, because I have other things I can do on weekends too. Yeah, so, like, check this, and the number 1 is engraved on the pipe. And I think, yeah, if you look real close at those, like, emblems on the floor, they've got little dots on them, just like we saw on the wall back in the lava cave. And whenever we step on one, it turns off the lava flow. It's safe to stand under the drips, even though it doesn't seem like it would be. But we need to make our way up there, and there's our arbitrary warp tile. We gotta figure that one. This pipe is 7. Or no, the number 1 is engraved on this. I'm stupid. Why did I think it's 7? It's not dumb. See, now we can flip that, and now we can get over here. But the trouble is, we need to get... We need to get this one done. Number 6 is engraved on this, but I think some of these pipes, can you still check them from underneath? You can't. There's a trick to it, because some of these are affected by more than one switch. Like, this one is 4, I think? I think I do want to leave that one flipped for now, even though it seems like it hurt our progress. We need to go back to the other side. I should fight the monsters. I'm gonna have a tough time if I don't. We're already having a tough time, actually. But once I get the battle groups all straightened out, for both regular mode and classic mode, then I'll be able to start, like, assigning them to the maps and things. And I'm a little... I'm not quite sure how I want to handle that, because, like, the writing isn't something I really intend to update. This is mostly supposed to be a database adjustment overall. Like, just tweaking numbers until things work and make sense and leave it at that. It's already a bit more ambitious than I ever expected it would turn out to be. But, like, I definitely don't want to do any, like, adjusting to the maps, not in a serious way.